Have you noticed that everything kind of sucks now? The stuff we buy seems worse than it did 10 years ago. From trucks like these two behind me, we'll talk about those in a minute, to appliances and clothes. Everything's just gotten a little bit worse. And did you see this the other day from Dave's Garage? Another 6.2 liter fails with just 4 miles. Watch.
But I couldn't pass up this opportunity to do the 6.2 liter engine. He says that a rod has broken or come apart in some fashion. 4 miles on this engine, and the word on the street from this guy is that a local dealership is seeing a lot of failures with barely any miles, and 4 miles is really nothing.
It's absolutely nuts, and we have to somehow stand up and say that we're done with this junk. And then you get the folks that regurgitate things like, it's only 1% that fail, or you get companies like TFL saying that it's only 39 that failed. Watch this.
But I also want to take a positive look on this.
Really?
So yes, a positive look.
Interesting.
I looked at two numbers. First of all, 877,000, that's a big number.
It is.
Is 2019 through 2024, and 39 complaints. I did some math. This is 0.0004% complaints versus engines.
Yeah, they only have 39 right now. This is exactly how the Tundra issue started out as well. So I think the number is much higher. And this latest issue with the 6.2s isn't even one of the bigger issues. This has been going on for years. General Motors has active fuel management in their old motors and DFM in their new motors. And this is sort of what it looks like inside of the engine. You'll see these collapsible lifters. And what happens is if your oil changes, you go too long between oil changes, or one of the internal mechanisms fails on these lifters, they can just stay stuck. And then the engine eats oil, and boom. So on top of these issues with the 6.2, now you've got the 10L80 issues with the valve body. I get comments on my channel all the time about this thing. 24 Silverado with the 10-speed, just over 3,000 miles, needs a new valve body. 2022 RST 6.2 needed a torque converter and transfer control. Now their valve body, he says it'll be several months before he can get it. This guy has a new 2500 with the 10-speed branded Allison, and it failed as well. He took it back to the dealer. This guy says he can't even get 10,000 miles. He's had two 2024s with the valve body issue. Basically back-ordered and out of stock. People are thrown into other vehicles, and they can't even get this part in stock to fix people's transmissions. This is from Tow Truck Dustin's channel. The 2024 Denali HD gives up in the middle of the road. Could be the fuel pump issue, who knows? Here's another one from Dustin's channel. 2023 Chevy Silverado, dead. Probably fuel pump issue, but who knows? And yes, Toyota's Tundras are still failing, even the hybrids that aren't covered. This guy was luckily under the powertrain warranty, but check this story out. He says, I sold my 2023 Tundra with about 36,000 miles on it. The motor seized up on the new owner at about 39,000 miles. This is the hybrid motor that is currently not included in the recall. Yeah. So he said it spun a rod bearing, sent metal through the whole engine, new short block heads, new turbos, all under warranty for the new guy. And let's hope that manufacturers get this figured out. 2020 is well in the rearview mirror, and we need to see changes. And this is for all the people that I keep seeing, whether it's in comments, Facebook groups, or wherever, telling me it's only 1% of failures. In Toyota's scenario here, it says Toyota is unable to estimate the percentage of the involved vehicles to actually contain the defect subscribed in Section 5. However, National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration manufacturer portal requires an integer value to be entered. Toyota has entered 1 in response to this question because they're forced to enter something. So since Toyota doesn't know, 1 basically means unknown, but that's where people come up with this 1% failure rate because Toyota doesn't know. They don't want to say it's higher because they don't know. Obviously, Toyota thought it was higher or they wouldn't have spent billions of dollars fixing 100,000 engines proactively. And consumerism makes everyone think that only having the best product will make them truly happy. How many people do you know take photos of their trucks and post them on Facebook? Okay, I love looking at her. I can't stop looking back at her. This is consumerism at its finest. Yeah, I'm that dork that enjoyed looking back at my truck so much, I took a picture of it And he posted it to Facebook. And it actually dates back to the 30s from this dude. He pioneered the art in advertising, fictional characters, soft selling, and the idea of consumer engineering, which is essentially the idea of planned obsolescence, which is what we see in everything. Most of the time when you're spinning bearings, rod bearings, main bearings, it's an oiling issue a lot of the time. And you start looking at all these designs and they have these variable oil pumps. Now, it obviously doesn't affect everybody, but you have to consider like start-stop technology has to affect engine wear somewhat. Variable oil pumps reduce that pressure down to a very low pressure when you're at idle. And then you've got this, hey, at least this is a chain-driven oil pump system from Toyota. Toyota's still doing chain-driven, so I'll give them credit on that. And people say this isn't a big deal. So here's a Ford EcoBoost 2.7, which had a belt failure, the wet oil pump belt failure at 155,000 miles. Again, planned obsolescence, folks. Here's a nice picture of that Kevlar belt at the bottom of the engine. I'm sure it was just a one-off, and I know that there are a lot of high mileage engines out there, but they haven't been at this for a long time. It's not like you see these trucks with Kevlar belts and they're 20 years old and they've never been replaced. This is going to be a problem in the future. And General Motors is doing the same thing on their 3.0 diesel, a wet oil pump belt, and it's even worse. It's in the back, so you have to you have to drop the transmission, and you usually do the rear main and the oil pump belt on that Duramax. It's just insane. So out of warranty, these trucks are going to be insane to maintain. Ooh, that sounded good. This is a 2015 Toyota Sequoia, as an example. Has 16 total complaints. 16 complaints since 2015. and no problems. I mean, the engine problems inside of this are an oil pan leak and a speed control, like nothing. And people say that, oh, this happens with mass manufacturing. You're always going to have failures. You're not always going to have failures. We have failures now because people accept it and they continue to buy the garbage. And don't forget, our most powerful tool, you have to vote with your wallet, and that means sometimes closing your wallet, keeping people out of it. So don't buy a $70,000 truck when you know it's probably going to fail. Will it happen? I don't really know. I'm part of the problem. Everybody really is. I just hope things change for the better. I hope that we get past this and all of these new vehicles become more and more reliable. So we all need to create change, in my opinion, and the only way to do that is to cause some pain for the manufacturers. If you have any problems, and I'm going to try to be better about this as well, go to NHTSA and actually submit your problem. If you want to help with the Right to Repair initiative, go to repair.org and sign up for your state. I mean, this is everything from John Deere, Toyota, Ford, everybody. We need to have a little bit of say in what goes on and push and fight back. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Till next time.